5 minutes into your session, we will open the chat, and our Zarek, our academic coordinator, we actually note down all the questions and pose the questions to you after your talk is over. So you don't have to worry about the chat, and so you can rest easy over there. To start the session, welcome everyone. I'm Ruxana Zia from CLT. You have already met Fatma, and Zarek, our coordinator in the background, will be handling the chat and the Zoom session. The purpose of the series is to establish a collaborative community of scholars with peer sharing and learning. The free part of the online course is to provide a wider access to national and international scholars and foster knowledge equity, which is actually more aptly demonstrated by our experts who have generously given of their time and energy. Over the years, we have developed this course to synchronize with the Researcher Development Framework by Vijay. This framework has recently been reconfigured, and so at present, our 24 courses sessions provide a strong coverage of the domains related to researcher values, behavior, research methods, digital literacy, ethical and responsible research, scholarly communication and publication, and collaborative research culture. It offers only limited coverage of funding and finance, but this session will talk about it. Formal project management, supervision, people management, coaching and mentoring, and research translation. And this course honors our value, especially of service to the community. We have, for this session, like most of our sessions, we have over 9,000 registrations from 400 international and 230 national universities across 93 countries of the world. Dr. Qausar Abdullah, who is our expert for today, is a very well-known a prominent national scientist. He is a distinguished national professor and president of the Pakistan Academy of Sciences. He has been with FCC for a long time as a dean and also as the head of ORIC. He has conducted much of his pioneering research at the Nuclear Institute of Agriculture and Biology, Faisalabad, and later he became the founding director of the National Institute of Biotechnology and Genetic Engineering. He has held many national leadership positions. Among them was also a short stint as the federal minister, I think, for some months during the takeover change in the party recently after Imran Khan's government. And so he has secured. The session today is especially close to what he has done. He has secured prestigious competitive research grants from organizations like United States National Science Foundation, NSF, the United States National Academy of Sciences, the CFC Amsterdam, and the International Atomic Energy Agency. He has every 10 years taken his honors a ladder up from Tamgha Imtiaz to Sitara Imtiaz and to Hilal Imtiaz. I don't think there is any other honor left for you, Qausar Abdullah, to take in from this government. He is also the recipient of gold medal from the Pakistani Academy of Sciences from Morocco, and is a fellow of Pakistan Academy of Sciences, as I told you earlier. So he has served at many governing bodies nationally, and he is, as I said before, been a caretaker federal minister for national food security, and he has been with us since 2008. So here, and he's also the founding, I think, the director or the head of the Qausar Abdullah Malik School of Life Sciences at Forman Christian College. So welcome. I didn't know your accolades go on and on, Qausar. So I had to put a stop to that. so that we could listen to your presentation. So you can now share your slides. G, over to you. At present, we have over 400 participants with us, so it's very happy to see you all. The presentation should be somewhere on your desktop. Otherwise, we can open the presentation if it is with Zarek. Zarek, do you have the presentation?
Yes, ma'am, we have the presentation.
Costa, should we start the presentation at our end? Unmute you.
I think you do it, you see, because I can't find mine on my desktop.
Okay. Zarek, will you start please close your presentation, Costa, and we'll start it at our end.
Okay.
That's a beautiful painting at the back. G, Zarek, over to you. There we go.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can you all hear me? See my slides?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I mean, can I keep on changing or? Yeah. See, this talk is totally, I mean, I have updated my presentation. I've added some new agencies, new donor agencies for your information. But somehow, to begin with, I want to share another very interesting development, you see. And that development is that I mean, you don't have to, I don't have to tell you anything at the moment, you see, because with the help of AI, with all the engines of chatbot and GPT and Copilot and all that, you just give them your requirement. You tell them that you are interested in this particular area and you will like to know the donor agencies or the funding agencies, and it will give you a list of these agencies, you see, so the life has become much easier, you see, but it's not that easy, you see. I mean, still you have to write a proposal, you have to, submit your ideas and all that, you see. So I will keep talking about all those things as I go along. But a research proposal aims to convince the reader that your project is important, based on strong academic basis, well thought out in terms of its research methodology, and it is feasible. These are important points that you must keep in mind while writing any proposal or any. I mean, all these proposals are based on some novel idea that you have, you see. If there is no novelty in your idea, then I think it will be very difficult to get funding, you see, So novelty is one of the important point while writing a proposal. Can you have the next slide, please? Next slide, please. Yeah, ये बड़ी मुसीबत है. A research proposal should answer the following questions. What will I study? Why is it important? And how will I do the research? And it is the same thing that being said again and again. That you must have a clear idea while sitting down to write a proposal, you see. That is very important, you see. It should not be either and either, you should have a specific idea, you see. Could I have the next slide, please? You see, the generally research proposal, you see, this is true for all whether you are applying in Pakistan or abroad or anywhere, you see. I mean, this is generally the template of a proposal, you see. And in many cases, many funding agencies want you to submit a concept note first, you see. And that concept note is a summarized proposal in a very succinct manner, you see. It should not be more than 2 pages, and it should have all those things that you are trying to do to convince the funding agencies that your idea is doable. See. So, but for a research proposal, the general template is that you have to have a portion of objectives, you see, and then it should be supported by a hypothesis, you see, that what is the hypothesis on which you are trying to build your proposal, you see, and then obviously the literature review, which is the background and significance, and if it is related to a theoretical framework and methodology and expected outcomes and references. These are the normal, I mean, some of the things which may not be relevant to a particular proposal like theoretical framework or such things as significance you have already talked about, etc. But generally, these are the most important topics for developing a research proposal, you see. We have the next slide, please. Now, the research giving agency requires a proposal must be on the given format. This is very important. You see, you must read the format of the funding agency, the forms or the application forms of the funding agency, and you must read them very, very carefully. And that proposal must be on the given format. And read carefully the questions asked, and the contents of the proposal should not be verbose. This is very important. It is not, I mean, writing a research grant proposal is not an essay writing, you see, you have to be very conservative in selecting your words, you see. It should not be, I mean, you can write sentences after sentences without conveying any information, you see. This can happen, and it happens, you see, normally. So therefore, I insist that the proposal should be very succinct, very precise, and should not be verbose. Then the next step in proposal writing is the review process, you see. That is, every funding, every proposal that you submit is to be subjected for a review. And the review process starts with the reviewer's comment. I mean, the reviewer who goes through your proposal and gives you some comments based on his understanding, his or her understanding. And these reviewers' comment must be taken seriously. You should never think that this reviewer probably knows me and he or she doesn't like me and then he has given these comments. Please do not think in these terms, you see. You must take the comments very seriously and respond to them logically. You see, whatever the comments are, you can easily answer them, or you can say that, yes, you are right, I will incorporate these comments into my proposal and amend the proposal accordingly, you see. If you are very strong and saying that these comments that the reviewer has made are not according to your knowledge, or you don't think that these are right, then you must confront him or her in a very civilized manner, you see. and explain to him or her that this is your point of view, and and if you think that you are absolutely right, then eventually the viewers sometime also accept your point of view and they agree. Otherwise, you incorporate the comments if you are convinced that these are the right things, you see. So this is very important that the review and it must be, you should not take too long to respond. You should do it uh, immediately within a week or so, you see. If the comments are not requiring total revision of your paper or revision of your proposal, you see. Can I have the next slide, please? Now the project of operation, the once hopefully the project is awarded, you have to submit the progress report of the project very promptly. Always stick to the sanctioned budget and work according to the objectives of the project, you see. This is also very important. Don't think that once the project has been approved, you are at liberty to do anything that you want, you see. That is not the case. That should not be the case, you see. So you should stick to the objectives of the proposal. You should stick to the timeline and submit the progress report of the project promptly. This is extremely important. It will otherwise, if any funding agencies send you a negative report or blacklist you on the basis that you have not submitted the reports in time, it will affect your career also, So you have to be very careful. Next slide, please. Is this the next one? Okay. Okay, all right. I'm sure by now everybody who is attending must be aware of the Sustainable Development Goals. You see, these are the goals, 17 goals, which have been decided by the United Nations, and all the member states of United Nations are supposed to comply with them by about, I think, 2030. So, all these relate to all scientific activity also, all agricultural activity, all physical activities and everything, you see, starting from the climate change to zero hunger and all that, you see. The purpose of showing you this sustainable development goals, that all the projects, you see, in 99% of the donors want you to indicate that which of these 17 goals you will be addressing, you see, So therefore, it is very important for you to know these sustainable goals and to build your proposal around these goals, you see. This is very important, you see. And I think majority of the funding agencies demand this, you see, whether international or national funding agencies. In majority of the forms or the application forms that you have, they mention, they require that which sustainable development goals are you addressing, So therefore you should be aware of this. Thank you. Next one, please. I'm sorry, this is, probably it is too light, but this is all, it is that scientific quality, innovation, the scientific quality and also relevance of the proposal, the significance of proposal research to national issues, or as I said, SDGs, and contribution of expected results, etc., etc. And then this is, you also, the donor agencies want to know whether your institution where you are working has any ranking of the nationally or internationally, and things like that, you see. Next one, please. I think is okay. Now let me get to the core of this. That I would like to list out some of the funding agencies that you have, some of the national funding agencies, and then I will come to the international funding agencies, and which are available for supporting the competitive research grants. See. Next one, please. The most important one is our Higher Education Commission of Pakistan, HEC, which is the main research grant giving agencies, you see, and they have a very comprehensive website, and that this all the problems, all the uh, projects that they offer, and that you can go through. Could I have the next one, please? It will show you. These are all, these Grand Challenge Fund, Local Challenge Fund, Innovative and Collaborative Research Grants, Technology Development Fund, Rapid Technology Transfer, these are all, this National Research Program for Universities, NRPU, is the main funding program which many universities participate in, and this is their, as I said, it's the, I mean, the majority of the scientists, majority of the local faculty and in the universities, they apply for this national research program for universities. It is also fairly competitive, and but it gives you a medium-sized grants to help you to continue your work of the faculty and of the students, you see, and they allow fellowships for the students to continue their PhDs, etc. You see, and similarly, there are. I mean, they also provide the rebel grants, and this all depends on availability of funds. You see, nowadays HEC's funding is relatively, I mean, slashed down, and I hope it will improve, and then we will have enough funding to support all these activities. You see, go to the next slide, please. These are all the same. These are the Pakistan Program for Collaborative Research, establishment of offices. You see, these are all available on the website, you see, so anybody who's interested in any of these can go to the website and find out the requirements and the forms and the maximum amount that can be supported, you see. Okay, could you have the next slide, please? This is just want to show you the cover sheet for proposal. You see, these are generally the HEC proposals, and then these you have to pin, and these are not, I mean, there's a general impression that all these funding agencies mainly support the natural sciences, you see. That's not true, actually, I mean, all these funding agencies support all these areas like arts and humanities, economics and social research, engineering and physical sciences, medical sciences, biotechnology and biological sciences, natural and environmental sciences, and science and technology. So all areas of science, including social sciences, are included, you see. And then field of proposed research and specialization, so you have to fill in. I mean, these are normal. I mean, nothing very special about it, but this is the information that the funding agency like HEC requires, you see. Could I have the next slide, please? Could I have the next one, please? Now, the other funding agency is Pakistan Science Foundation, you see, that their research support for scientists, and that is, institutional grants, support to scientists, scientific societies, and grants for journal publications. Could I have the next one, please? I think I will show you. Yeah, they have a very interesting natural sciences linkages program. This is a program which was initiated by an endowment made by monetizing some of the imports from USA, and this is it is called Natural Sciences Linkages Program. You see, all the proposals are preferably, if you link it with some American US scientist, it will be it will be helpful in getting funded, you see. So this is based on an endowment which was, I think, about 500 million worth of endowment, and all the markup of that is used for supporting the competitive research grants, you see. Could you have the next slide, please? This is the form, the kind of form that we use for Pakistan. It is very similar to all other forms as well, you see. Could you have the next slide, please? The next slide, please. You see, the other is that Pakistan Academy of Sciences, they also support some research, but that support is for the academy fellows and members, you see. So therefore that is quite limited to the fellows, and which are quite small number. Could you have the next slide, please? Yeah, this is all again Pakistan Academy of Sciences. And all the email addresses are there. I have listed it at the end of the presentation as well. Could you have the next slide, please? Yeah, Ignite National Technology Fund. This is based on this is exclusively for computer, IT, and all physical sciences which are related to computer sciences and all that. This is based on the CES fund, which is collected from all the electronic industry, for all the mobile industry, all these Telenor or Ufone or all these companies, they are supposed to give a percentage of the revenues as a CES fund for R&D activities in the area of IT. So it is quite a handsome fund which has been developed, and from that fund they support competitive research grant in the universities and in other institutions, you see. Would you have the next slide, please? Yeah, this is the same igniting university innovation. You see, they are all focused on IT-based innovations, you see. And now they support a lot of activity in AI and all related areas, you see. We have the next slide, please. Now, here it is another ICGEB Comstack Scientific Cooperation Program. ICGEB is International Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology. This in collaboration with Comstack. Comstack is the Committee on Science and Technology of the OIC, Organization of Islamic Countries, and they have jointly come up with research grants and short-term fellowships. This is also quite competitive, but quite attractive also, you know. Could you have the next slide, please? I think. Yeah, this also, this has a website, and you can have a look at this website and find out the time and when to apply and how to apply, you see. Could you have the next slide, please? You see, this is Pakistan Council PCST. I mean, they don't give many funds now because the whole PCST has been merged with other departments now, and I don't think if they have any activity at the moment. You see. Could you have the next slide, please? Now, let me talk about the international funding agencies, which is quite a long list. And let me have the next slide, please. Yeah, this is very interesting. Human Frontier Science Program. You see, this is a program which is Human Frontier Science Program, which promotes international collaboration in basic research focused on the elucidation of the sophisticated and complete mechanism of living organisms, you see. And also, so this is, I mean, very much biology oriented, but it is also different aspects of social sciences are supported by this program, you see. Could I have the next slide, please? And the websites are there, and all the details can be found on this website. And I urge many of you to approach these organizations, which are quite, I mean, you can be successful in getting some funding, you see. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, this is the famous Alexander von Humboldt Stiftung. Stiftung is foundation, Alexander von Humboldt Foundation. This is also a very interesting, very, I mean, lucrative fellowship. I mean, I am one of the Alexander von Humboldt Fellow, and I know that this is a lifelong association. You can, I mean, it is open for all areas. You see, all areas of science and social sciences included. All countries of the world. There is no bar for any developing country or non-developing or advanced countries. All countries are eligible, and also obviously then it becomes very highly competitive. You see, the best thing is to write your idea or proposal to a professor in Germany, and if that professor is interested in your work, he will recommend you for a fellowship. I mean, that is as simple and as difficult as it is, you see, you know. So you should all try your luck, but for this you have to have either you are enrolled in doing PhD or you have completed PhD. You can it's an early career fellowship, and it is ideal as a as a postdoctoral activity. See, you know, so it is quite interesting. You see, could you have the next slide, please? Yeah, this has become a with our program search. You will find the funding that suits your individual career. You see, you know, I mean, you should visit their website, and I assure you, you will find very interesting opportunities. You see, you know. Can I have the next slide? This is TDR for research diseases of poultry, of poverty, I mean, grants and other funding activities. Tropical Disease Research Fund for research on diseases of poverty, UNICEF, UNDP, and W. These are, I request all of you that you should go to their websites and see the details, and you will find lots of new ideas and new opportunities, you see. Could I have the next slide, please? Wellcome Trust. This is another very lucrative grant giving agency. Okay. I mean, I was reading some of the chats, you see, that I've been receiving, you see. Okay. Guidance develop, you see, it is, Welcome is a very high end, you see, it's very competitive. I mean, it focuses more towards the health area, you see, medical oriented research, you see, but if you have a, a public health area is also very popular with Wellcome Trust. And it all depends on what kind of ideas you have in order to apply for Wellcome Trust. And once you get a Wellcome Trust grant, this is your success, you see. Can I have the next one, please? Applying for funding. Each of our scheme pages has a specific information about applying for that grant. We also have the greatest general application information that applies to all of our grantees. So I mean, the best thing is to go to their website and have a look at that, you see. Next, please. The World Academy of Sciences, it is TWAS, which is famous. I mean, it used to be the third World Academy of Sciences, which we have now changed the World Academy of Sciences. And they also gave some research grants, small ones, you see, not a large ones. And they also provide a system, I mean, a small fellowship for you to go to different countries, especially in the South, you see. They want to increase collaboration between South, and so, but they are quite important. And I happen to be the fellow of this academy as well. So anyway, this is also very important and influential academy, you see. Could you have the next slide, please? Now, International Foundation for Science, you see, this is based in Stockholm, and this is one of the oldest, as it says, it is 50 years now, supporting early career scientists. You see, this is very important. I mean, you must apply to IFS for, because their area of support is very wide. You see, they had started from biological sciences, but now they've gone into water, they have gone into social sciences, they've, all that. And I was, for about 9 years, I was member of the steering committee, you see. So I used to go to Stockholm every year for their meetings. And this is a very important foundation, because once you get a grant, you are assured of getting a bigger grant after that, you see. So please, I mean, people who are in this area, you must try to apply for IFS grant, you see. And I'm sure that some of you will definitely get it. There are a number of IFS fellows in Pakistan who have been able to get funding from them. It's a small funding. It's a it is about $10,000 or $15,000 per year, you see. So if you get it for 2 years or 3 years, it is quite enough to support your initial work, you see, So I strongly recommend all of you to try the IFS, you see. Could I have the next slide, please? Okay, this is again IFS. Please go to their website and have a look at that, that the areas in which they are interested, you see. Okay, next slide, please. This is GEF, Global Environment Facility. This is another very popular funding agency, but it funds a large grants, collaborative grants, preferably between 2 or 3 countries, and so people who are interested in environmental areas, must approach these global environment facility, this funding agency, and this is related to climate change, especially, and all these areas related to environment, and the best thing is to have a joint with laboratories of other countries, or within the country you should have a multi-institutional proposal, you see. Could I have the next slide, please? Okay, these are, you see, I'm giving you the websites of all these agencies, and it is for you to go to these websites and find out the details, you see, okay? Thank you. Next slide, please. Then other trust funds for the, these are these two. We have the next slide with this is just information. See, this is another Nagao Natural Environment Foundation research grant program, and you should go to their website and find out, what is their agenda, you see. Could I have next slide, please? Then obviously you all know, are aware of the activities of British Council. They used to have lots of activities, but in Pakistan their activities have declined tremendously, but still there are some areas which they are still active, you see, and that are available on the website, you see. Okay, could I have the next slide, please? SCAP, this is the assessment for cross-border properties trade. This is all related to social science and economics, small and medium-sized enterprises, lending approaches, the role of banks in Asia. This is a typical SCAP is a very popular funding agency for economics, you see. Next slide, please. Then JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency, these are all, agencies which fund big projects by the, especially by the government, you see, So I don't think if there's entertain any individual proposals, you see. We have the next one, but it is good to know about them, you see. And you should, when you have some time, you should go through their website, and you should, it is a addition to your knowledge, you see, that what kind of activities they are into, you see. Could I have the next slide? Sigma Z, this is also the Scientific Research Honor Society, these are different societies, you see. Agla, let me have the next slide, please. Jaldi kar de. Next slide, please. The Asia Foundation. This is famous Asia Foundation. It's a long history. It has been funding, it has been supporting a lot of good and bad activities. I would say that, it has been sponsor of different projects, but obviously large scale projects, not individuals, you see. Would you have the next slide, please? Nesta Foundation is another. I have collected all these and given the websites of all these so that you can go and find out what are the agencies, and you can then select any of these in which you are interested, you see. Thank you. Next one, please. Global Research Council call for topic suggestions. These are all very interesting agencies. You see, you should know, and you should. I think if you try to do all these, you can find one of these of your interest, and you can make use of any of these. You see. Could have next slide, please. Global Innovation Fund. This is another one. Can you have the next slide, please? I'm at the end of this, I think. Canadian, it is the same. These are all JICA and SIDA and the Swedish International Development Agency. These are all agencies which fund government projects, you see, generally, but if you have some project which is multi-institutional, then they are probably able to help, you see. Okay. Next one, please. Government of UK, International Development Fund. You see, it used to be DFID earlier, and then now they have again changed their name to International Development Funding. It is just the same as I've said about the JICA and SIDA and all that. They fund the government projects, you see, generally, IDRC, this is Canadian, and they are also in the same category of supporting government projects, but also if you have a good multi-institutional projects, they are very receptive to support that, you see, but not individual projects, you see. Okay, the next slide, please. Empower. Yeah, this is the Islamic Development Bank. Islamic Development Bank also has got lots of funds, but their style of funding is very bureaucratic, and but they also fund individual scientists also. I'm a recipient of IDB funding sometimes back, but you have to be very persistent in order to meet their, demands, you see, of information and all that, you see. But they also, you should keep them. I mean, if you have developed, they don't do that. For individual researcher, but if you have got a team of researchers and you have developed a program, then you can approach IDB for funding, see, for developing an institution, for developing a laboratory, for something like that. You see. Okay. Would I have next slide? NORAD, the food effect. You see, these are all in the same category. These are all fund large projects which are either from the government or from multi institutions, you see. Would you have the next slide, please? I think I should finish it now. Could I have the next one, please? These are all this. Next one, please. I think I've got Sweden. I've already talked about this. Sweden's Development Assistance Authority. Together we contribute. Yeah, these are all the emails that I have listed here. These are all emails of the donor agencies and different organizations, and these will be very useful. And I've given emails on each slide also, and I would urge all of you to go through these, and you will get a lot of information. You see, So I wish you all the best, and hope you are successful in getting some funding, and this will be excellent, and I will be happy if I can be of any assistance at any time. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And thank you, Costa. We had nearly 600 participants throughout the session. There were more at one time. Zarek, if you have the questions, please start stating them. We have another 10 minutes.
So the first question we have is from Dr. Neelan Umbreen, who is joining us from RIU, and she asks, what's the biggest reason proposals from Pakistani researchers get rejected? And she's also asking that since she wants to ask for someone who's early career with a narrow, well-scoped idea but no funding history, is it better to fix that by starting small and solo or by partnering with a co-PI early on?
Well, would you repeat that, the first part of it?
Yeah, the first part was about the type of a proposal, and the second part was about how to go about it. So please break it into two parts.
I see. Okay. You see, the type of proposal, you see, it all depends. If you are an early career, starter, you would need an individual grant. You will have some of your ideas, and based on that, you will apply for a grant. You see, if you have already established some laboratory, or you have a team of scientists working with you, then you will need a different kind of donor agencies, you see, so, but in our case in Pakistan, the majority of young scientists, faculty members, they try to get grants from HEC under the NRPU, which is the National Research in the universities, you see, So that's about it. Otherwise, the bigger grants are, as I said, are with the, for example, Wellcome Trust, or for example, Pakistan Agriculture Research Council. I actually missed that in my presentation. Pakistan Agriculture Research Council also supports bigger grants as well, and that is also based on an endowment, you see, which was established much earlier. Incidentally, when I was the chairman of PERC, we had established this endowment, and that still continues and gives a quite big grants to people who have some ideas, you see, Okay.
The next question is from Pervez Ali, who's joining us from SMBB Medical University in Larkana. He asks, how heavily do reviewers weigh a researcher's prior publication record versus the novelty of the proposed idea itself?
Tuksana, could you rephrase that?
The participants basically wants to know how important is it to have prior publications if you're sending in a proposal.
Oh, it is helpful, you see. It's not very essential, but it is helpful if you have already published something based on your ideas, you see.
The next question is from Alicia Masood, who is joining us from University of Home Economics in Lahore. She asks, what are some of the funding institutes that are national as well as international, which are relevant to humanities? As the themes or the institutes you mentioned or the grants you mentioned were mostly related to technical or medical fields.
Technical and medical field.
She's asking if there are any grants which are directly applicable for the humanities.
Humanities. Yeah. Well, you see, as I said, that all donor agencies support humanities, you see, social sciences, you see. So even HEC supports humanities and social sciences. There is no bar on that, you see, but you have to have some good ideas as far as humanities are concerned, you see.
The next question is from Sheroz Ali, who is a student from Forman Christian College. He asks, what is the expected word count or word limit for writing a proposal? And does it vary for Europe, USA, and other countries?
There is no limit on the word count, you see, that not that I'm aware of. There is none, I think. But the only limit is, sometimes it is mentioned in the proposal in the form of the funding agencies that it should have these many words. You see, if that is there, that you have to observe that. You see, otherwise there is no limit on the word count. But it should, as I already said, that it should not be verbose and should not be unnecessarily long. You see.
The next question is from Dr. Ehsan Farooq, who is joining us from Rifa University. He asks, can medical graduates apply for a research grant proposal as the principal investigator, even though they do not have a postgraduate degree or if they're not affiliated with a teaching hospital?
Well, I think they will not have a good chance. You see, they have to have firstly a degree, and they have to have an affiliation. You see, because the funding agency wants signatures of the head of the institution. You see, because you are going to work in a laboratory, which is in a university or in an institution or in a hospital, and they want to ensure that the head of the hospital or institution will allow uh, that person to continue the work there, or allow him or her to work there. You see, so therefore, it is essential to have an affiliation, and it is preferable if you have a degree. You see, without that, you may not be eligible. You see.
It seems we have done with our questions. Somebody is posting their chat or WhatsApp chat on the in our chat box. Please do not do that. This is purely for the sessions and attendance form. You are creating a lot of confusion for our participants. Kausar Abdullah, thank you so much. I was looking through the chat and there's so many thank yous for a very informative session. And actually, somebody said, love you, sir. So enjoy that love you, sir, as a thanks. And we are very thankful to you for your time
I
and
love
your
all of
effort.
you. You see, I love all of you.
That's
And
true.
thank you so much.
That's true.
And uh,
That is what
thank you.
mentors do.
God bless you.
They coach and they are actually that
All the best.
empathy is
All
there.
the best.
So
Love to
all the
be
best to
in the
all of
meeting.
you who want to apply for grants. Please read the the funding agency's requirements very closely. You cannot go wrong. And
That's
so
right.
every grant will have a different requirement for proposal writing. But of course, there is a need for evidence based research on which to base your grant. So please, research writing will help you in this, how to be a good researcher. So
Thank
that
you.
should show.
Am I
Thank-
allowed now? Am I
Yeah,
allowed?
thank
You.
yes, doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.